I am 17 years old and I miss the early 2000s. If you can do math properly, yeah, I was born in the late 2000s, but I was still only a baby in the late 2000s, and I am obsessed and nostalgic about the early 2000s, which is weird. How does that even happen, and how can that even happen? I don't know. So, we're going to talk about it today because I feel like we should be talking about it because it's interesting. I've written things down on my laptop so I don't forget anything. So, emotional nostalgia. Our brains link visuals or sounds to safety and belonging, even if it's imagined. So, the internet social media, the internet is very saturated with nostalgia and what people really think nostalgia or think the 2000s were like, for instance, or any period, but they don't exactly know. They don't exactly know because TikTok users probably the majority of TikTok users are teenagers, most likely. I mean, coming from a teenager myself, I think so. So, I love watching Hollywood movies and Hollywood drama on YouTube and listening to Britney Spears, listening to 2000s songs, music, which is why I probably feel nostalgic and miss it. But also, I think back then was a much simpler time, and right now everything is moving so fast. I'm so overstimulated, and I'm pretty sure lots of other people would say they are too. So many things are thrown at you all at once, and that is probably reflecting in our personality and our style and our makeup and everything like that, which is why I think the last 3 or 4 years have been clean girl or just no different styles. Like, everyone had the same style. Everyone has the same style. Not everyone, but everyone that we see have the same style. And I think because we see that on social media and we kind of like it, so we kind of snatch personality and snatch ideas and not really show our real personality because we're so brainwashed by everyone else's personality or everything on the internet we're so brainwashed by that our head is completely brain rotted, is completely rotted, and we don't know who we truly are. Me, for instance, I am obsessed with the 2000s and 2010s. I really enjoy the style. I enjoy the music and movies and the people, the icons, everyone or everything. And I really enjoy the media. That's one of the things I most enjoy because there were more physical media. There were CD players or DVD players, whatever, vinyls. There were just things like that, magazines and stuff like that. I think that's a lot better and a lot more manageable. I think we should have just stopped then, to be honest. We're moving too fast. I need to stop moving my hand. But yeah, I feel like social media really saturates nostalgia. I think since TikTok is mostly consumed by teenagers, I feel like the nostalgic content on there is completely twisted because they didn't experience the 2000s, they didn't experience the 90s supermodels. That's one thing I see heavily right now, and for like a year or something, is the runway. And I feel like that also because Victoria's Secret runway comes out every year, so that's kind of still talked about, I guess, and it's been happening for so long. And I also feel like there's a lot to talk about with supermodel trends. But anyways, yeah. Also, I always find that people make videos on 2000s childhood. You know the videos I'm talking about, right? Like, I feel like I'm so connected to that, even though I probably didn't grow up with most of these toys, most of these, like, medias. It just feels so ingrained in my brain because I watched those videos. I have seen those videos so much that I feel nostalgic about that, and that could be why I'm also nostalgic about the 2000s and I miss it. I don't know, but yeah. I also see a lot of Hollywood drama regarding the 2000s icons, like Paris Hilton, she's on my wall. Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, like the drama with them. Yes, I love everything to do with that, but I also feel like we're so attached to the 2000s and the 90s that we can't live in the moment. I mean, I'm saying that as like a obsessed 2000s girly, but we can't live in the moment. I mean, with all social media pointing out nostalgia and like just enhancing everything, all styles from years ago, yeah, it's gonna like evolve. Is that even a word? You get it, right? So I also see a while ago, I also saw a bunch of like, what is it called? Class of 2005, class of 2008 videos on my For You page filmed by digital cameras, and everyone looks so happy. No one has their phone out. I feel like we could have just stayed there. It was probably a simpler time, and I wouldn't know that because I obviously wasn't alive during that time, or at least conscious that I was alive. But yeah, I also see movies that, this is also coming from my perspective also, I already said also, but I see a lot of teenage girls right now obsessed with 2000s movies, 2000s like rom-coms and 2000s teenage girly movies. And I used to be obsessed with 13. I was obsessed with everything about 13. I would try and copy that, and it was probably not the best idea to be copying, but you know, we live and we learn, I guess. I mean, Mean Girls, that looks really fun to be a part of. But I also feel like these are unrealistic, and no 13-year-old would be doing what they do in 13. Maybe though, everyone has a different experience with teenagehood. But also like Sleepover and like Wild Child and Legally Blonde. I mean, Legally Blonde is not really teenagey. I mean, at the start, I guess, but yeah. Do you think nostalgia helps us heal or keeps us stuck? Because I feel like nostalgia is talked about too much, and the obsession with nostalgia is crazy. So many people have an obsession. I have an obsession. I'm a really nostalgic person. When I was younger, I really liked the 80s and 90s, like, movies and like the way they dressed, and wondered how it felt to live back then and how it was to live back then. And Full House was like kind of what made it like, oh my god, like I really want to live during that time. And now I've kind of come to 2000s, 2010s, and I find interest in that. So I feel like I wasn't really influenced by the media to be nostalgic. I'm just nostalgic myself. That's gonna sound really bad. But I also see right now it's like a trend because it's fall in America, and where I live it's spring. But I always see these videos on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, even Pinterest. Pinterest has everything though, I guess. But 2011 fall girls routines and outfits. I always see living like it's 2011 in fall. Pretending I'm a 2011 girly in fall. Like, what? I mean, they're cool, I guess, but sorry. But also, I always see outfits. So, like, go for a run in this outfit. It's kind of like Abercrombie and Fitch. I think that's the brand. I actually have a couple hoodies from that brand, but yeah. So, and I always see Victoria's Secret pink, like fold over flares. Those are always like the outfit inspo. So yeah, that's a really heavy trend right now. I mean, like, go to the library and study in this outfit. You know what I'm talking about? I hope you know what I'm talking about. I hope you know what I'm talking about, otherwise that's gonna be embarrassing. But yeah. Do you think it's possible to actually like miss something you didn't live through, you didn't experience? Like, that sounds really weird, but also I feel like that could be a real thing, and I feel like I'm living through that. Missing what I haven't experienced? That's strange. But I also feel like reincarnation kind of could create that. I mean, if you believe in reincarnation, I feel like reincarnation is true in my brain and it makes sense, but because where do souls go? Energy doesn't just die like that, right? But yeah, I'm gonna talk about some weird things right now. I feel like I was an emo older brother in the 2000s, the early 2000s. Yeah, it sounds really weird, but I feel like so emotionally connected to it and like nostalgic to that sort of specific genre. I mean, specific I don't even know what this is. I have an older brother and I've lived with my older brother for my entire life, but he was never emo. He was never emo. And I feel like I have an obsession with skateboarding, and that could possibly come from that life or whatever. So yeah. But I also feel like I'm so destined to be an actress that it's so in me, it's so emotionally connected to my soul, like, but also being like a cute dress with like my hair up, like, you get the vision, I hope. And living in a mansion in Beverly Hills, like, it's not just a goal. I feel like I've already lived that, and I feel like I want to live that more. And I will. What do you mean? I will. And it's in the process, happening soon. It's happening soon. It's, yeah. But do you ever feel like your soul really belongs in a certain era? Like, I feel like I belong in the 2000s. Maybe that's just my personality, and it's so saturated in my brain that that's what I think it was like. I don't know. I think that's all I have to say, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this interesting. I sure as hell did. This was a fun video to film, and it's really different. I quite enjoy, because I'm so lazy, I quite enjoy not editing my videos, but I also enjoy it at the same time sometimes. Like, I mean, yeah. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. This will come out next Tuesday at 1 o'clock New Zealand time. I don't know if it's what the time is, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.